Hey guys, what's up? NullRage here, and today we're taking a look at the latest changes coming to Hawkeye in Marvel Heroes. Let's go ahead and hop in, and it looks like his synergy is going to remain the same. Level 25, 2% move speed, level 50, 4% critical damage. His powers are going to interact together in all new ways, but a lot of them will seem very familiar as well. Archery tree remains almost unchanged. We're going to go through each power individually, but the first thing I want to touch on is trick arrows. He's got this new mechanic called Trick Quiver, and all four of these arrows here, electric arrow, explosive arrow, nerve gas arrow, and freeze arrow, are all considered his trick arrows. This one, shrieking arrow, is not, but these are part of his Trick Quiver, and so is his Sig and Stark Medical. These are not considered part of his Trick Quiver, but these four up here are part of his Trick Quiver, and that ties into his archery powers over here. You can see Serrated Arrow has a 3% chance to activate each Trick Quiver effect when an arrow hits an enemy, and all of his other skills have that same effect as well, just different percentage chances for each skill. So let's go ahead and see how that works. Here's Serrated Arrow. Doesn't seem to be proccing too much. There he goes. There's an electric and a poison, and an electric again, and a frost and a poison. So it's all about RNG. Sometimes it's on your side, sometimes it's not, like right there at the beginning. It's very chaotic mechanic, but it should be pretty cool, I think. Next up, we've got Rocket Arrow. Physical damage. Damage is fully charged, and it's going to tie in with World's Greatest Archer down here too for even more damage. It's also got the 3% chance to hit with a Trick Arrow. It's got 5% increased crit chance for this power, and the crit chance and the damage go up with points put into the skill. The more you charge it, the harder it's going to hit, but you can just release it immediately too. See if we can get a Trick Arrow proc here.
I need a breather.
Oh, and we're out of spirit. Now, I'm guessing due to this new mechanic, he's going to have some affixes on his uniques maybe that cause his Trick Arrows to proc more. That would be cool. Increase the proc chance of his Trick Arrows on one of his uniques. Alright, I don't think his uniques have gotten like the final touches that should be coming in this new review. Next, we've got Wave of Arrows. Physical damage, a slow, and a 1% chance to activate each Trick Quiver arrow. Now, I'm wondering if this is on each arrow, because this fires like a whole bunch of arrows, or if it's just once per cast. I'm not sure. I haven't really seen it proc on this skill yet. You'll notice there's a bleed mechanic being applied, and that is due to World's Greatest Archer, which we'll get to later in the tree. And didn't get any Trick Arrow procs with that one. It looks like this 3% chance. Serrated Arrow has like the best chance of proccing this Trick Quiver. The rest of them are all really low chances, and they don't seem to proc too much. This is beta though, so or test center, so things may change over the next week or so. Alright, we've got 3 Arrow Burst is next. This is his Spirit Spinner boss killer type thing. It used to have a 40% increased damage against bosses. Now it just has that damage baked into the skill itself. So it's going to do good damage against all enemies, not just bosses. There you go. And it looks like each arrow has a 1% chance to activate a Trick Quiver. But again, didn't see any procs. Now we've got physical damage per shot with twin Pim arrows, regenerate health, restore spirit, and 1.5% chance. So 3% across the entire skill, I guess, but 1.5% per arrow. There's a Trick Quiver. There it is. I was looking for it. Alright, we only got one proc. Alright. Then we've got Harpoon Arrow here, physical damage and a stun. Very low chance again to proc Trick Quiver. You can see that pierce due to World's Greatest Archer here. And now we've got Trident Shot. Physical damage, three arrows, base damage to up close targets. So this is going to be a very, it's a basic, but it's going to be good against, you know, in a shotgun perspective. You know, sort of like Wave of Arrows has always been used. You run up to the enemy and you shoot as many arrows through the enemy as possible. It doesn't seem like that works anymore, because I'm only hitting this guy once. Anyway, but that mechanic has sort of been moved to this skill, I guess. Trident Shot. Hit him with all 3 arrows right up close. Or, you can fire from back here. Have a little bit more spread on your arrows. Alright, now we've got Speed Loader Volley. This is a brand new skill, and it is pretty cool from what I've seen. Let's go ahead and put it on the bar here. Physical damage is going to hit 9 times, and each arrow is going to have a 1% chance to proc Trick Quiver. It's got a cooldown of 8 seconds. Let's see if we can catch the animation. It might just lag through. Oh man, that's so speedy. So many arrows so quick. Alright, here it goes again. And this is supposedly tied to some kind of new tech that he has acquired for, you know, during the movie. So I'm interested to see the movie and see what is, you know, this new Speed Loader Volley mechanic, how it ties into the movie. Alright, World's Greatest Archer. We've seen several, you know, this has affected all of these skills so far, and it will now, we'll go over it. While toggled on, Harpoon Arrow and Rocket Arrow gain 100% extra damage and an 8-second cooldown. So this one, Rocket Arrow, and Harpoon Arrow right here. Let's go ahead and toggle it on real quick. Yep. And now Harpoon Arrow, 8-second cooldown, but 100% more damage, and Rocket Arrow, 8-second cooldown as well, but 100% more damage. Now, this skill also gives us damage rating to ranged abilities, critical and brutal strike rating, and 10% chance that your projectiles will pierce enemies. Looks like all 3 of those go up with points in the skill, as well as the bleed effect whenever you crit. And then, of course, whenever you crit, you will also gain critical rating and critical damage rating due to accuracy, which will be applied to all of your party members as well. Pretty cool. Probably a maxed out. It's always been a maxed out passive for me. It's always been really good, and there's no reason to change that now. In fact, it looks even better than it was before. So very solid passive there. Now we move into the combat skill, the Kick-Eye Tree. Alright, he's got a new thing here. He's got a sprint, which is pretty cool. Okay, got all the skills on the bar. Now, Crippling Kick is the first one I've seen that's sort of different. It's going to deal physical damage and stun enemies, as well as knock them back. There it is. Now, what's interesting about this skill is, now I don't know if this is like how it's supposed to work right now, but I just kind of run around and move while I'm casting it. I don't know if that's going to be, you know, in the final build or not, if that is intended. I mean, it's pretty cool. I like it. You know, it allows me to have some kind of, if I was going to do Kick-Eye. Now, granted, I'm probably not going to do a Kick-Eye build, but I think it'd be pretty cool to have this skill working the way it is in a Kick-Eye build. Alright, now we've got the basic. Right, so I totally forgot to talk about this. So I'm going to edit this in later. Just excuse my weird editing stuff. Okay, Fleet of Foot. His new sprint ability. There it is. There it is. Very cool. I love these skills. Captain America, Winter Soldier, and a few others have had these abilities added here recently, and they're very, very nice for these characters that don't really have other means of getting around. However, Hawkeye specifically has another means that he has used multiple times in the comics, and that is his Skycycle. The Skycycle, according to the devs, the post that I read earlier, the Skycycle will be coming eventually. This sprint that has been added to Hawkeye right now is just a intermediate skill that they don't really have time to work on the Skycycle between the now and the movie. They're doing a lot of stuff between now and Avengers Age of Ultron, the release, when they want to get all these changes for Hawkeye and Black Widow and Scarlet Witch out, and holding Hawkeye's review back until the Skycycle is ready just didn't make sense. So they're going to push the review out, and then eventually this sprint will be replaced with a Skycycle, which should be pretty cool. They just got to do the modeling work and get all of that looking nice and pretty. Alright, on to the rest of the skills. Ronin Assault. Gaining some defense, doing some damage. Now we've got... Actually, that's not a basic, is it? It's not a basic anymore. Does he have a basic in this tree? He doesn't have a basic in this tree anymore. I don't know if he did. Maybe I'm just imagining things. Alright, but next we've got Combat Training. While toggled on, Crippling Kick gains 75% increased damage and a 4-second cooldown, but no longer stuns or knocks back enemies. So you can use it, right up in your face and not knock your enemies back if that's something you want to do. Say maybe you put together a basicless build using this skill, and you didn't want to knock everybody back as you were hitting them. Yeah. Then you might use Combat Training here. Alright, next up we've got Elusive Arrow, physical damage, immobilization. Your basic shoot and jump back skill. Now we've got Ronin Lunge, physical damage, knockdown. Still a very nice dash skill. It sort of always has been. Doesn't look like it's been changed too much. Now we've got Flash Bomb. Now this skill I use in pretty much every build at least one point. It's very, very useful for this 50% increased damage on your next attack. Boom. Also turns you invisible. Now if I hit my serrated arrow, then it's going to hit 50% harder. Very nice. Alright, finally we move into the Trick Arrow trees. Let's go ahead and put these on the bar here. Did I get that? Oh yeah. Okay. Sorry, those icons look so similar that I thought I had just doubled up on Electro Arrow instead of Explosive Arrow. Alright, so Electric Arrow, you've seen it proc before, but here's what it does. Physical damage, maximum targets hit 7, and pretty fast speed. It's also part of the Trick Quiver. There you go. And then we've got Explosive Arrow, physical damage, vulnerability application, and it explodes in an AoE around where it hits. Cool. Nerve Gas Arrow. Doesn't look like this tree has been really touched too much. It's just archery can now proc this tree, which is pretty cool. Nerve Gas Arrow, physical damage, weaken. Points put in the skill increase the duration as well as the damage, making this a very good skill to max out, as the overall damage increases from both of those. The duration and the damage increases the overall damage of the skill. Freeze Arrow, physical damage, freezes for 2 seconds, slows. It's got an area duration of 8 seconds. The slow, I guess, does. Here you go. Now the beauty of this skill is it is also affected by World Greatest Archer and its chance to pierce, which means you can align yourself properly and pierce through, freezing entire packs of enemies. It's pretty cool. Now we've got Shrieking Arrow, physical damage, and it goes off, it sets a bomb, and after a certain duration, that bomb explodes. Now it starts taunting immediately. So it goes out, it's taunting, everything's running to it, boom, explodes. It's a very, very nice skill to at least have 1 point in, and it couples very nicely with the rest of his kit, allowing him to just throw this out and then hide way over here in the corner, shooting things while they're all going to attack the bomb. Now we've got his signature, Stark Tech Claymore Turret, physical damage twice per second, summon duration 6 seconds. Now, I've always wondered the summon duration, is it affected, can you increase it with increased summon duration stats and items that have that on it? And if so, how that affects the overall damage of the skill. As having it out for an extra second would cause it to do, what, 46,000 more damage as, each cast, which is pretty cool. Here's the Stark Tech Claymore Turret. Very, very potent ability. Has been since it was put into the game. It doesn't look like it's been changed much for this iteration. Now, finally, we've got the Stark Tech Medical Arrow. Probably the only skill in the Trick Arrows tree that has really been modified. Still works the same way, just now has tags on it. Allies become protected, shielding them from 25% of incoming damage. Allies cannot be protected again for 25 seconds after leaving the area of effect. So it's also going to regenerate some HP. It's got a duration on it. It looks like the regen and the duration go up with points put into the skill. Now, protected is part of a new line of, or a extension of the previous raid buffs or group buffs that they've been putting in, such as here's one over here, accuracy and power and endurance and all that. Well, they extended that to invisible and protected now are part of that as well. So there you go, 25% damage reduction. You can see the shield around me, and it probably shows up around other players as well whenever they're in that shield. Very cool. Now finally, we've got his ultimate, Avenging Arrow. Probably not changed too much, as it was pretty freaking amazing even before this. There it is. Oh, that animation is great. He fires one arrow up into the air that explodes, coating the area in oil, and then fires a flame arrow into the center of that, setting the oil ablaze. Such a great ultimate. I love it. Is this... How long does this burning effect last? Oh wow. Okay, there it goes. It's gone now. So the A fades even before the burning effect goes away. That's pretty cool. I like that skill. And that is Hawkeye. That what he's going to look like. Now remember, this is Test Center, so things may change. We may see more iteration on various skills, and hopefully the proc chances on some of these skills, because I'd really like to build around that. Archery, procking all these trick arrows. I think it'd be a really cool spec to play. I love procs. I've always loved procs. So, yeah, what do you guys think about the build? Let me know in the comments, or the, not build, the changes, iteration, review, whatever we're calling it these days. Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one. Probably some Black Widow or Scarlet Witch. Till then, take it easy. Have a good one. Peace.
Let's take these suckers out.